All right. Thank you so much for being live with us today. At the amazing time talking about SWIFTtrip. All right. So right at my left hand is.
Good day, everyone. I am Favor Orina Miayo, the personal assistant to the CEO and also the international admin of SWIFTtrip. Amazing connecting with you today.
Interesting. And at my left, I have, or right hand, I have the ambassador of SWIFTtrip in person. And now he will introduce himself, but you need to understand that he's not just an ambassador of SWIFTtrip or the hub admin of SWIFTtrip in Rivers State. He is the chairman of the hub admin committee worldwide of SWIFTtrip. So please introduce yourself, boss.
It's my humble self, Ambassador Jeremiah Odu. I doubled as a hub admin of SWIFTtrip, Rivers State, and of course, like you heard already, the chairman.
Thank you so much. And just beside him, we have Apostle.
I want to also thank you of SWIFTtrip for this great privilege to speak to everyone out there. I am one of the Ebushi elders of SWIFTtrip and by privilege of grace, a minister of the gospel. Thank you so much.
Our appearance on stage today, it's going to be treating some important things or reviewing some shareholders' comments about SWIFTtrip and even those who are yet to be part of SWIFTtrip. So I want to review one or two comments from the people out there. So it's really going to be an amazing time talking about the things that concerns our future. I want you to pay very good and key attention. It says, and time will reveal you. So why are you and your cronies waiting for 2.4 million people before starting a thing? This review, first we go to Apostle Bush, and we'll be hearing what he would say about this. So he says, where is your fiscal office? Are you registered with the company? It's a shame that all junks are permitted on the social media space. Yes, people like you ought to have been arrested for building false hope for people. So Apostle Bush, what would you have to say about this message sent to us by Benjamin Oyetunde?
Thank you so much for
Thank you, sir.
This opportunity. You know, the moment you read out what this young man, you know, the comment of this young man on your person, I think answer came. You know, I love the part he said that time will review. You know, the truth about life is that there is nothing under the sun that is covered forever.
Yeah.
If the young man said that time will review, that is the truth. From what we know and from what I know about the CEO of SWIFTtrip, it's not a scam. It's not what this very young man said. If he is a scam, just like when I introduced myself as a minister of the gospel, because a true minister of the gospel is one that stands for the truth. It's not one that, you know, party with anything. So I have been with the CEO, I've been with the founder of SWIFTtrip for over years now. And I believe this period of time I've been with him, I work with him, is enough for me to know who he is. And I believe that this young man that made this comment on the person of Honorable, His Excellency Honorable Richard Nadi, has never met him. I'm sure you don't even know him in person. And if you also ask me, he's not even a shareholder of this company. So how would such a person have, you know, knowledge of who the CEO is? So I want to, you know, say that let's leave time to do his own work by revealing who the CEO is.
Okay, thank you. Miriam, good afternoon or good evening, sorry.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
How is that?
And the audio which is about to play is one of that which we'll also be making review today. And it's really going to be a very amazing one, passing through this review. thank you, Apostle Bonimbush. You say time will reveal. Time will reveal. And I think I also want to make a comment. Before we even talk about this audio, that's a very good one. That audio about to play, okay? You'll be so excited listening through the audio with us, and you hear how we review it. So I want to draw this out of this same comment from Mr. Benjamin. It just struck me now. I would hand that over to Ambassador Jerry Odu. He said, you have to be arrested for building false hope. That's false hope. Let's underline that. False hope for people. So I want to ask this or throw this to Ambassador Jerry. What do you think hope actually is? What can we classify as a real hope or a false hope in people, or what SWIFTtrip is doing? How can we see it as a hope, either false or real? I don't really know where the false hope is. But what would you say about that?
Yeah, in response to what the caller wrote about SWIFTtrip, is quite appalling. Sometimes most persons react based on half-baked information. They are what we call ill-informed people that just feel that they could write because they have the privilege to write. Now, he made some very vital point, giving people false hope. And in his assertion, he also asked, where is the office? Is it registered? It simply meant that the man has not even done his due diligence. Because for you to draw that conclusion, you should have been able to verify that this company was not registered and that they don't have an office. Incidentally, it lays false to his claims, because SWIFTtrip is legally registered to do business not just only in Nigeria, but the United Kingdom. You can go and verify, like my brother Obi will say, go and verify. We are duly registered by the Corporate Affairs Commission of our land, Nigeria, as a legal entity to commence business. Little wonder we have bank accounts in our names. For you to have a bank account in a company's name, it shows that that company has fulfilled the statutory requirement. Which part of it is that you must have your CSC certificate. So if you don't know that, you better have a rethink. And then secondly, we have our office here in Port Harcourt, where we have the headquarters of SWIFTtrip worldwide. It's along Aba Road, a popular Aba Road that is the most popular road in Nigeria, in Port Harcourt, because it transverses, different states. From Aba Road, you can get to Aba, from Aba to Enugu straight. So we are on that road, very close to Share IA. So if you are still doubting, you can pay a visit to our office. The building is written Empowerment Center. So it's visible, it's not hidden. These are, little tips that will help you rethink that your conclusion may have been abruptly reached based on your perhaps previous experience of the fake you have seen. So I don't blame you actually, but please, next time before you draw a conclusion based on anything told you by anybody, do your due diligence, so that, because if you just lay false claim to an organization, you could be sued for it. And you know what that means. It's not an ordinary matter. And then when you say false hope, what is false about it? Nobody was cajoled into coming into SWIFTtrip. And you were not also told that as you come in, we're launching tomorrow. You were told there is a milestone. And what is a milestone? That if we get to this point, we'll activate this clause. And we're yet to get to that point. So what's false about it? So I think you should have a rethink, because we are still working within our, time frame and our milestone. It's until we get to that milestone and we don't launch that you can begin to, come with this accusation of, they are fake or not fake. So my good friend, you better have a rethink.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ambassador Jerry. And that's really a quite insightful comment about that. I love the way you addressed the young man. And if he happens to watch this someday, he would realize that, okay, I better make some research about SWIFTtrip and all of that. Then let's look at this. Yeah, Ambassador Jerry was speaking, I went through the write-up again and I drew out this, and I'll be asking that to the international admin. He said, why are you and your cronies waiting for 2.4 million people before starting 18. What do you have to say about that?
All right. Thank you very much for the privilege. I think is Ambassador Jerry already made mention of that. Every company have its own milestone. It has its own, what is it called, modalities. Of course, if you are coming into a company, they will tell you the lay down procedures. These are the things we need to get before we do this. Now, we can't change our policy or we can't change our procedure because of one man who says, oh, why are we looking for 2.4 million persons before we launch business? Now, this is our strategy. What we are building at this phase is a community that by the time we say today we've launched business, what does it mean? We have 2.4 million persons that are available to what? Patronize the company. I don't know if you can see that, because what we are coming to do, we are not coming to do, see, SWIFTtrip is business unusual. We don't want to come or launch the business, and by the time we launch the business, you then start seeing us putting our banners out there, telling people, oh, SWIFTtrip has not been, come and do this. No, we are doing the campaign now that we are the vision state. Like I said, it is our strategy, and if it doesn't go well with you, please, it is not for you. Because we keep saying in SWIFTtrip, if you cannot see what we are showing to you, then it is not for you. So I think that's all I have to say for as to that. And I think I also want to point out that side. He said time will tell. Time and that hope. Hope. What is hope? I don't know if Mr. Benjamin, right, is a Christian. Because if he's a Christian, I think he himself should go tell the government to arrest all the pastors. Because you will see a pastor will come and tell you, someone that hasn't eaten, or someone that can't even walk, will tell you, I pray for you to stand up and walk. If it were to be Mr. Benjamin, will say this pastor needs to be arrested. Why are you giving this man false hope? Maybe someone that does not even have legs. Why are you giving false hope? So someone like Mr. Benjamin, I don't know. So time will definitely tell. By the time we've launched the business, and I don't know where you heard it from, who told you about SWIFTtrip. By the time you begin to see our aircraft moving from one country to another, then you will know indeed that time has told that Honorable Richard Onadi is the CEO for the people. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Ambassador Orinami. All right, so let's deal with this audio. It's a very interesting one. And just listening to this.
How are you pushing SWIFTtrip? Because I know that there's a whole lot of activities going on there. They have increased the price. But I want to give you this message. Because personally, I've spoken to them before now, that this project is taking a longer time. Yes, most of us who are doing prospective, making profits, we are enjoying it. But I tell you the truth, this is a project of the day that does not need this longer time. Okay, for instance now, the CEO said 2.4 million Nigerians, or anywhere they are. The point is this, what is the current number? 11,000 something. 11,000 something. Remove 2.4 million from 11,000. I can assure you it has not gotten anywhere. With the way they have increased the price, when it was 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, we could not achieve that number. I don't know whether most of you are thinking about what I'm thinking. Are you aware that many shareholders have died? Are you aware? Many has gone to the grave.
Today, let me take that back a bit.
2.4 million minus 11,000 plus.
Okay, no problem, you heard that. Now, this is a shareholder of SWIFTtrip who was once very active in SWIFTtrip, I believe. And for one reason or the other, based on reviews, the people he has shared SWIFTtrip with have filled him with, he concluded that he might be in the wrong path. Now you can see there is something they say, when or once you take your eyes off the vision, or let me rephrase it, when you begin to see obstacles, you have taken your eyes off the vision. There is no way you can be focused on obstacles, on reasons why the thing you want to work, you want it to work, but everything you've seen is how it can't work. There is no way, no magic on earth, in heaven, that can make that thing you're pursuing to work. Why? Because you have lost focus on it. Just as Ambassador Jerry said, nobody was cajoled into SWIFTtrip. You hearing it today, we need 2.4 million persons to launch the business. So you can see how he came in to the person he's talking to, say, please, what is happening in SWIFTtrip right now? I am seeing a lot of activities, but how is the pushing going? How are you people marketing SWIFTtrip? It means that he is no longer in line to make it happen. And then he talked also about the price changing. He said we could not even get this thing to 2.4 million persons when the price was as little as $5, $10. He said, is it now that people have to pay 200 and something thousand in naira? That is $180 that people will come in. Let's talk about this aspect of the price changing. People who got it so affordable years back, and people who are getting it very affordable today at 180. Why the increase? Apostle Bush, can you say something about this? We will look at that.
All right. I must say that I love the part that the young man said that there was a time he enjoyed all of this. So that's one thing I noted there, that he enjoyed something about it. And to someone hearing us out there now, if you understand that this person speaking once enjoyed it, I think it's an eye-opener. So you should come in to check what is into this very thing he's talking about, if he actually enjoys something about it. Okay, now, coming to talk about the increment, the increase of price of this slot. Let me use myself. I want to be realistic here. If you come to me to tell me about a business such as aviation business, e-commerce, e-taxi, logistics, and hospitality business, that I will have this with 5,000 naira, that I will be a co-owner of these platforms with just 5,000 naira, I will tag you a scam. I'm being realistic. How can I become an owner of an airport with 5,000?
Does not make sense.
It doesn't make sense, sir. How can I become an owner of e-taxi with 5,000? Not just one of these platforms, but 5. It doesn't make sense. And I believe that people that think like me, that is one of the reasons why they would never, even if we would decide to remain at that price, that we will continue selling this thing 5,000 until we get 2.4 million shareholders. So people that think like me will never accept that. It's too good to be true. Okay? And we are rational beings. The way you think, the way I think, the way we see things differs. So now, if we also want to look at why they increase, anything that has value will always increase in price. If you look at the country, even the economy, anything that goes up, especially in this part of the world, Nigeria, never comes down. So now, talking about the increase of the node slots in SWIFTtrip, This is $180 today. To me personally, from what I can see and from what I have seen before, pushing this business, is still very cheap at this very price. If someone understands what he or she will stand to, benefit and continue to enjoy before he or she goes to be with the Lord. I also, want to emphasize on the part he said that some shareholders of the company.
Let's leave that for Ambassador Jerry Odu.
Okay.
Yes, this young man here, he said a lot of shareholders have died and gone to the grave. So, what do you think about that statement and concerning the dying and with SWIFTtrip? Just whatever, review that statement.
Let me get my very good friend who was with us. Most likely, met some wrong persons that have spoken him out of tune, that his mind is no longer aligning with the vision. It happens. That just goes to show how committed you could be to a cause. And if you're not focused and don't have the right understanding, you could derail in the process. Now, debt is inevitable. It's a price we must all pay. So if we're to look at because of debt issue, you now say because people have died, and as a result, SWIFTtrip should have launched yesterday. Even if it has launched 2 days ago, there were those who died before 2 days ago. Let me give you this very clear scenario. You see, there is this man we are celebrating in this country today. Some 30 years ago, he was not a known figure in Nigeria, or 40 years ago, Aliko Dangote. 50 years ago, 40, we used to hear of the likes of Dan Tata, the Hebrews, and then the young man was busy doing his own thing. Today, we are celebrating him as having built the second largest refinery in the world, not in Africa.
In the world.
Now, the refinery started operation last year. The question you should ask yourself is,
How long did it take?
when did he start building the refinery? The record has it that he started in 2016. Now, when did he acquire the land? It obviously not in 2016. So, the land acquisition, the paperwork, the government settlement thing, everything took him like 11 years to completion. So, if you were among those who perhaps, if Dangote had gone into crowdfunding as a way to realize the vision of having the largest refinery built in Nigeria, or the second largest in the world built in Nigeria, and you were told, and let's assume you never knew anybody like Dangote before. That it was like somebody like you and I, like Honorable Richard and I say, I want to build the second largest refinery and the largest in Africa, but we need your cooperation. You say, this man build refinery when government owner they work. Now individual will come work. And then those who bought in, because he didn't come with this money, banks came in to support, because he already made a name. They gave him money, individuals brought money, and they bought into the vision. And they waited patiently to see the process move from phase 1 to phase 2 until only last year. So it means that some persons for more than 10 years, all right, did not see the vision come true. Some for more than 5 years. And let me also, shock you that among those who also bought, there may have been those who have died. And that they died did not mean that their investment was lost. They have families. Here in Port Harcourt, Nigeria, River State, there is a man we are celebrating today. Most real estate rectors are using his university as a sales point and an advertisement point. The Wigways. Come and buy land around Wigway University. The question is, the man Herbert Wigway, where is he today?
He's dead.
He's gone. But did he stop the functioning of the university? No.
Not at all.
He was not there to witness a first matriculation. But that did not stop the vision. So, you that is always afraid of death, if that is your mindset, you might not be able to do anything, because whether death comes or not, it doesn't stop a vision. A vision is like a wave. Once it commences, whether you are the starter or you meet us in the middle, we will get to that point and we will celebrate it. So, don't look at how many that have died. They have families. That is why we say SWIFTtrip is transferable. You can will it to your family members or your friends. So if that is your fear, shere were, that is not going to be a hindrance here. SWIFTtrip at the right time will launch, and those who are his own will celebrate and enjoy it. And if by virtue the unforeseen happens, our children will live to enjoy it as well.
Wow.
So it's not a cause to worry at all.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Jerry Odu, for giving clarity to that our able shareholder, or rather now a shareholder. Because when you stop talking about SWIFT, or if you've not talked about SWIFTtrip and you're a shareholder, you're just a shareholder. But once you're talking about SWIFTtrip and you're driving SWIFTtrip onto the point of launch, you are what? An able shareholder. So, congratulations to the able shareholders out there. Let's continue with this audio.
If you've not started, that means in the next 10 years, people are still marketing this. That time, another new innovation bigger than this must have come. And
I love that. He said, with what he has seen in the milestone and how situation of Nigeria based on the price, people will not be willing to buy. And we hear from Apostle Boningbush saying, if this thing is so affordable to that point and it's still there, there is no how people who really think the way normal persons should think, they can be part of it.
Sure.
So now imagine me walking up to Davido. I just want to mention that name. I like the guy. Say, come buy a unit in SWIFTtrip. It's going to make you owner of an airport. It's going to make you an owner of an e-taxi business, an owner of an e-commerce business, an owner of a logistic business, an owner of a hospitality business, 5 core services, and it will cost you $180. To the international, what do you think he will say to me?
I think what Mr. Benjamin said is too small compared to what he will say to you. Mr. Benjamin, I'll call you a thief. He said, go and launch the business. I think what Davido will say is, go and launch the business, and once you are done, come back. Funny enough, when Sweet was selling at the rate of 5,000 naira then,
Yeah.
I think I said it the other day, I talked to my church platform, provincial church platform, the youth platform. After explaining, the lady just read the message because I did a presentation. Then she read the message and said, "Una don't come again, no." Just yesterday, as and then, that she heard of the one of 4,000 naira, and today I'm coming with 5,000 to make. I did not even listen to. I continued my presentation. I said, these are people that will miss, just like Pastor Bonnie Bush say, it won't make sense that you're coming to someone, telling the person, you will be an owner of an airport with just 5,000 naira.
Yeah.
10,000, even 10,000. Funny enough, even this 180,000 that it is today, just like Apostle Bonnie, it is too cheap. For instance, let's just assume you have the opportunity, or sorry, not you, someone has the opportunity, even you, you have the opportunity to be an owner of an airport for 10 million naira. Sir, you will rush it, true of us.
True.
You will rush it because everything has been done. All you just have to do is to relax and be enjoying your percentage or whatever they call it. So you getting it at this rate, you never knew what, or you never know what is on your table.
And as a matter of fact, you know, we are still here talking about $180. So people will be rushing to buy it for 200, you know,
$200,000.
Apostle Bonobo, do you remember when you came into SWIFTtrip?
Sure.
With how much? 10,000, and you said you're helping me.
That was what I said.
That was what he said.
Because it didn't
that
make
is helping
sense.
me. It didn't make sense to him.
Even with the 10,000 naira, I feel like he's a young man like
Let me help him.
Let me just assist his company. Until I came in, that was when my eyes opened that, my God. So something like this is possible. You know, so that is just the truth.
Let me just chip in something.
Yes, boss.
You came in when there was already an office.
Okay.
Tell them the story.
I didn't know Honorable Richard Nadi from Adam.
Okay.
We've never met before. How he got my phone number, I don't know.
No.
He only put a call to me. Please, I want you to join a webinar, a live session. There's something I want to share. I think it will benefit you. And I listened. I didn't meet him.
Yeah.
And what I listening, I say, I love the idea. It made a lot of sense. And I told my wife, then she was not my wife. We were dating. Because I will tell a story now that will shock a lot of people. Because if I put in my hand into anything, I don't look back. And so he told us of the idea of he wants to start, and he wants to start.
Yeah.
No office. The company was not registered then. But he needs people to come together that will share in that vision. I said, this is what I'm looking for. Visions, no wahala. That is how to make a mark. I will try it. People say, well, they take risks. I said, well, without that risk, you won't get the key to success. And so I sent the money to him when I've not seen him. I bought a stake then. Then it was only stake that were available.
Yeah.
And then when he met me, then there was this something like memorandum of understanding.
Understand, MOU.
Good. And then the day he came that we should feel it. And then I was to feel my nest of skin. And I put my fiancé. He said, now your fiancé they put. I said, yes. He said, you don't get brother. Like, because, fiancé, most people would think that you shut down married. What about if you don't work? The woman ain't done the inside though. I said, don't bother. Let it be there. And as a human being too, there is this part of us that will say, well, there are two things.
50,
it could
50.
work, it could not work.
Exactly.
And so my fiancé was like, she wants to buy. I said, no, let her let me buy first. And let two of us not take that risk. But guess what? Today, that is the bone of quarrel. You made me miss out on that stake. You get the point?
Yeah.
And you made me miss out on that stake because after marriage now, we are now two instead of two is now one. And then we'll discuss it. I said, but share you are the nest of kin there. And what is mine is you. I say, hey, I would, women are. But as Grace would also have it, she got, the node and every other one in the family, the children, they are all node holders. They are settled for life. Wow. You get the point? Because I tell people that I don't want to, at my old age, call my children and they see my call and say, this man again. Imagine Obasanjo calling his children. Would anybody say this man again?
No.
4:40. Daddy, I'm already on my way. I'm close. That is how I want my old age to look like.
Exactly.
That Dangote is calling his child. He won't say, Daddy, I'm already on my way. That's what you hear. Because you are not a liability. You are an asset to them. They know that each time they come, something is going back with them.
Yeah.
Not the type that each time your father calls
You must drop something.
you know that something will leave your body. Please, if you're that type, it's not too late. Come and buy it now.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you will hear I said it. And then it will be too late. Because if it gets to that 200 million, sorry, it's no longer for you people.
Of course.
Those who will be buying will be celebrity because that's what they like. They like class thing.
Yeah.
The reason why they're not coming in now to them is too small.
It's too small.
Let the price be that price. So that when I say, do you know what it took me to get in there? That's what we like in Africa. We like this. So it's still it's early bird. Don't joke with this opportunity.
I think one of the reasons why people are also complaining about this price increment is because they met it cheap. They met it cheap because if maybe they came in when it was selling for at least 500,000 naira, at the next price it won't really, they won't feel it because to them they came in with, let's say, 10,000 naira, and from 10,000 it has gone to 200 and something thousand, assuming that's the initial price they paid when they came in. They would have been saying all of this.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. I think that's another insight. So where you got it, do not expect it to remain there.
At all.
Don't expect it to remain there. You got it very affordable. Congratulations. Congratulations. You're getting it today for $180. Big congratulations to you. The same thing people will buy for $200,000 initial offering to the investors. Right now, and I always tell us that what we are today, we are far more powerful than investors. What's the mindset we come into this? We are visionaries coming to make something that is not there happen. So we are just like in the realm of God, where the Bible says He called those things that are not as though they were. That is who we are now. But there are people who will then come in when there is nothing to doubt about it. The airport, that's the airport. The app in Nigeria, that's the app in Nigeria, it's operating. The app in the United Kingdom, that's the app in the United Kingdom, it's operating. So all of this comes together to put so much value into what we'll be offering to the people. And at last, you who bought it early, you'll be so happy. Take note of this. Today, when you see a person who purchased this note for $5 years back, you'll be like, oh, if I had found it then. The truth is, if you had found it then, you would have written a lot of things that would have also made you not to be part of it.
That's
You
true.
get it?
That's true, sir.
And just go write this down somewhere. 180 today. Someone might be looking at it, especially those who found it very early. They might think it's too expensive, but in few months or years from now, when somebody heard you bought SWIFTtrip for $180, they will be like, my God, oh, if only I heard it as when you heard it.
So I said it's already happening. I
Okay.
don't know. You shared. Okay, I shared I shared one something that happened the day before, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
That a girl, a student that registered for SWIFTtrip. You know, when we were increasing from, I think was it 45 to 80,000 naira, people were saying it's too expensive. It's too expensive. Now the girl called me that 2 days ago and was telling me, why did you not tell me when it was 80,000 naira?
Okay.
Why did you not tell me? It's the same way people. Why didn't you tell me when it was selling for $180?
That's it.
That's just it. So now that you're getting it, you shouldn't miss out on it at all.
Buy it as quick as you
And
can.
I want to quote something from what the CEO of Binance said.
Okay.
You know, the man says something. He say, if you don't understand what you bought, you can't survive the drop. And he gave instance of, he say, if you bought Bitcoin, because every other person is doing it, he said, you will sell the moment it dip. So, one of the things that people need to understand is that you don't just get into something, a business, without understanding the business. The understanding you have of what you are buying or what you are paying for is what keeps you going. You know, just like when he met me, he told me about it. I didn't pay attention to understand the business. That was why I saw it like I'm helping
Let me help
him.
this brother. He's hungry.
Yes. Unknown to me that I was actually helping myself
Yeah.
and my generation. Are you getting it? So it's very important. Don't follow naysayers. Don't follow what people are saying. Follow your heart. Pay attention to what you want to venture into. By the time you understand it, I believe nobody talks you out of it.
Exactly. Thank you so much. That's a very deep insight. All right, so let's continue this audio review.
How are you pushing SWIFTtrip?
Oh, it went back a bit.
Because I know that there's a whole lot of activities going
Just a minute. I think it was a
on
bit.
there. They have increased the price.
Sorry for
But
that.
I want to give you this message. Because personally, I've spoken to
Have
them
you got your
before
juice
now,
now?
that this project is taking a longer time. Yes, most of us who are doing prospecting, making profits, we are enjoying it. But I tell you the
Have we
truth,
gone through this part?
Yeah.
this is a project of the day that does not need this longer time. Okay, for instance now, the CEO said 2.4 million Nigeria. The question is those who the CEO said
Okay. Just a minute.
2.4 million Nigeria
Just a minute.
or
let me
anywhere
see.
they are. The point is the
Okay.
I think we are at where he said new business must have. come
Okay, yes, must have taken over.
Yeah, taken.
So let's even think about that. I think that was another point he made, which I was trying to think I've not said something about that. He said, when, as we'll be taking over the years to accomplish the milestone, that in the process, some business would have kicked off. And this would be outdated.
Outdated.
That's what it means by that. That this we're pursuing will be outdated based on the recent trend that will be. Let's use the insights from Ambassador Jerry. Dangote refinery started
Mm.
years back.
12 years back.
12 years back. They were talking about it. They talked about it. They talked about it. So many persons would have even forgotten the investment they made.
Yeah.
It kept going. It kept going. But when it appeared, it was rated as the largest in Africa,
exactly.
right? And second in the world. I want us to know something here, that when a thing is given, maybe you hear it in that process. If it is done that year, it was mentioned.
Mm.
It might be, but if that same thing should be done 10 years after it was mentioned, it's going to be bigger.
Exactly.
We should know that.
Yeah.
A vision can't get outdated when it has not been bettered.
Yeah.
So when it appears, it becomes the latest. You have to put that in the mind.
Mm.
If Web 4 meets us in this process, are we going to launch the Web 3?
No.
We launch the Web 4. That's the power. Even while that process was going through, let's use the Dangote refinery again, there were equipment that weren't available as at when it was mentioned. But as the process went on, innovations came up that they incorporated into that vision. It became the best.
Yeah.
So, I want us to think smart, work smart, and the last days of our lives will definitely be beautiful because we walked by vision.
Mm.
So let's see
Amazing.
that again.
What is the current number? So I told them specifically that this is a long-time project. Now, there's nothing wrong. As I speak with you, all the Uber, all the boat drivers are all waiting for. If they launch now, all of them will switch over. They may have the app of your SWIFTtrip, also have the app of boats. But because the SWIFTtrip have a better offer, better features and all that, so many of them will want to be here. Then those who want to buy shares can come in to buy shares, even from 1 million and above. I am telling you the truth.
1 million.
Yeah. Let's look at this. I've always said it that when SWIFTtrip launched, it will be sold for $200,000. Go write it down anywhere. Now, someone is saying we should launch as premature and sell our shares for 1 million naira. Calculate what $200,000 is at the maturity of SWIFTtrip. If you calculate that, that should be giving us. Can somebody do that for us here live now? Today the price is 1,615 naira.
615.
Yes, 1,615. Let's do that. Times $200,000. What do we?
323 million.
323 million naira. That is what the maturity of SWIFTtrip can do to the same node. We're not coming to launch and just fade away in the passage of time. Launch and start struggling. Asking us to launch now is a premature bet. When you see a premature bet, what happens? Do they hand that child over to the mother?
No.
They start struggling with that child in a bottle. Say, let's put an inside machine, make it they shape and they press him until he mature. Asking us to get bettered prematurely is going to be detrimental to that hope you think you have seen in SWIFTtrip. If you think that a person will be willing to pay $1 million naira when it is bettered prematurely, you're joking. It's not going to happen. The same way you think a person will be skeptical in paying 200,000 today when we are at the we will stage. That is the same way those persons you think will even offer $1 million, seeing you struggling, seeing you being bottled and competition wants to just devour you. They will be afraid. They will say, no, if I put my money here, please let me go find something else to do that can boom, because these people, they are going nowhere. And you just discover how competition will just scramble the life
Out of that business.
out of the business. It will just fade with the passage of time. It will be forgotten. The process, when you think it will be difficult, I want you to know that that is where the opportunity is. That fear you have that this process is difficult, it means that if we together walk through the process, we will become something that people will first of all cry that they missed out of it. We launch prematurely. Those persons who are laughing at you now, they will have all cause to celebrate over you the more, because they will say, thank God I didn't put my money into this kind of premature thing. Are you with me?
Yes.
Do anyone have anything to say about all of this? Any insight, or should we proceed?
Actually, if I
Okay.
were that young man, our very good friend that seems to have lost focus, if you have this beautiful idea, if I were you, I would have just gone to launch my own
Oh,
transport
thank you,
business.
sir.
So that, because the market is there for you already now.
Yeah.
We've given you an idea to ride on. Why not just, that's what I'm even surprised. Somebody will steal your idea. We have said, go and steal. They don't want to steal again. Copy, they don't want to copy again. Haba. I have a very good friend.
Yes, sir.
He was among those that even won phone in Port Harcourt. Because we're only two persons that won the phone during those promo time. My very good downline here. At a point, he told me, Bro J, I don't know why this young man is wasting time. I've discovered that app is just 25,000 to even do it. $25,000. I said, my brother, why are you in a hurry? If it's that easy, start your own. I will still support you. If you think it's that easy, start now. He said, no, that he's telling me that if we can get, I said, if we can get it now. $25,000 to create the app, and then you start. I said, it simply means that you don't understand the vision yet.
Yeah.
The vision is not about creating the app. If you understand our market strategy, that will make us, the day we launch, the world will bow. Is that we are already creating our own users before launch of the
Before the
business.
launch.
So that when we launch, we won't be running adverts on radio. When you book our ride, we'll give you water. Those are people looking for customers. Where they have customers?
Exactly.
Because I would be a user of my own brand. What is as good as that? Those guys don't have users.
Yeah.
So it is, after launching, they are looking for users, customers. Where they have customers. And then it was like, you see, in fact, I want to go back to my farming. And let me shock you. Actually, he went back to farming. He is from Imo State. He went back. I told him, my brother, I have done virtually all manners of businesses legitimately. When people quantify risk, I told them too that the greatest risk I have seen are in the offline space.
Yeah.
That the online is still the safest place. Me, I'm an example now.
Yes, sir.
I have done taxi work in River State here, Port Harcourt. The very first day I came out, if you remember Amechi time, Tim Arif carried me. I escaped. I said, okay, I won't be driving in the daytime. I will be driving only in the night. I was carrying both spirit, Mami Water, carrying arm robbers, until I carried arm robbers on a drop one night. 2 boys.
My
We were
God.
even gisting. It was on a Friday night against Saturday. How Arsenal would beat. I didn't know they were arm robbers I was gisting with. They took me on the drop because I don't like doing kabu kabu. And then when I said, okay, where is the place? I entered this bush path. Immediately I veered in. I saw a knife and a gun on my neck. As they were walking me into the bush, what was going through my mind was, hey, nobody will know where Jerry died. Jerry is missing. That's what you hear. Because we have heard several announcements of
My God.
boat drivers missing.
Yes, sir.
Taxi drivers missing. Airport driver missing. This is how it happens.
Yeah.
I said, but in the online space, even if I do a wrong investment, the only thing I will lose is my money and not my
Not your
life.
life.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's still the safest. And so he went into farming in Imo State. He told me he has got some parcels of land. And just last week, he was begging me, hey, Oga Jerry, borrow me some money. If it means we have to share cost. I just laugh. Me, I've done all those farming things. Oh. The only one I'm doing is the one I'll eat.
Yeah.
Now, not to sell. Because on paper, you calculate your profit. In actual, you calculate loss.
I hear you, sir.
On paper, they will tell you this is how much the maize will produce. The very first sort of maize or corn he planted, all of them withered because of sun. So those ones were not captured on paper when he started the farming process. And then he planted, repeated, bought cassava, everything. Only for the owners of our farmland in Nigeria now, the headers, to invade his farm and finished up everything. He did a video of it. If you want, I will play it. He was lamenting last week in his group chat. people were consoling him. He said, it's just like you should die. I said, don't die, you. That's offline for you. She, when I told you, he said, my brother, I'm coming back online. Oh. So he has learned in the hard way.
Yeah.
And that's the truth.
My God.
Offline is the most difficult place to operate, my friends. Because, hey, you meet the good, the bad, the ugly. Is it shop you want to open? Somebody is coming to buy on credit that will never pay you. And then you try to collect the money, he will tell you your history. Is it because of this month? Let me first owe. After all, Nigeria is owing.
Ah.
So, if you know what is good for yourself, if you've not started online businesses, you better start one. It must not be SWIFTtrip. That's my free mentorship for you. But look for one good one. There are a lot of opportunities online. And SWIFTtrip is giving you opportunity to earn in 5 places. And you're still there telling us why a new innovation will come. As they are coming, we are coming with newer ones.
Exactly.
Because ours is bomb